I don't think we realize how much we ought to lose in our inability to have faith in our own potential. What you put in is what you get out. I feel like in life, you either are able to give yourself what you need or you try to take it from your external world. And then taking everything from your external and then, positing your worth from what you can see, you ought to lose everything. It's not necessarily a stable structure. When you're able to somewhat give that to yourself and be there for yourself in a way like believing in yourself or having faith in yourself in a way, positing enough in yourself that you don't need it from the external anymore. What I've come to realize is that, how you view yourself is how you view the world. How you view your passion is how the world is going to view your passion. Sometimes you gotta posit that love within it for its own sake. It's kind of like the law of attraction. If you haven't heard of it, it's basically um like attracts like. The more positive you put out, the more positive you get in. And I think that, a lot of people use that kind of ideology to, get money or to get success in some other kind of facet. But for me, what's worked best for me is positing in that in myself. And not so much like in what I hope to gain from it, but just positing that love and positivity within myself. Attracting to myself what I think I deserve. Or what I feel like, is exemplary of myself. For example, I'll just give an example. Like I started uh doing affirmations or just stuff like that. And I talked about it on here before, how I started like getting back into poetry, getting back into, arts that I like, getting back into the things that just made me feel like myself. The closer we get to ourselves, the closer we get to, happiness. The closer you get to a realization that no matter what happens, you're going to appreciate who you are in that moment no matter what. This sort of law of attraction, this sort of what you put in is what you get out. You sow what you reap, or you reap what you sow, is fundamental to this modern era. I feel like we lose a lot of our motivation and discipline and our inability to see ourselves in the positions we want. I feel like we're very goal oriented, very past, perspective based. We base a lot of our perspective on ourselves based on what would happen in the past. They say the body keeps a score, but our mind holds on to it much greater. And our minds holding on to our past experience, our past circumstance, we lose all our ability to function in the present. When you're basing yourself off of mistakes you've made in the past or the way people have interacted with you in the past, you ought to create that same future, like attracts like. The more you're stuck in that feeling, that vibe of, almost self-pity, low self-esteem, low self-image, you attract things for that likeness. It's about positing in your character enough love to keep you, first of all, afloat and keep going, as well as, open your own mind up to your own possibilities. It's about finding out things you like, finding out the things you appreciate, and most of all, appreciating yourself for appreciating those things. Like, like recently, I realized how much, stuff we just take for granted. I'm a lot more grateful now. I think gratitude plays a big part in everything I do, especially nowadays, and I feel a lot better because of it. Sometimes it's a privilege just to wake up in the morning. I feel like I take up space, right? I might as well use it. And how am I going to use that? Like, how are you going to use the space that you take up? I feel like it should always be good. I try to leave a lasting impact on everyone I meet. I try to do everything in my power to, make sure I'm built up enough to give to others. I feel like that's something some people don't do. You know, like in an effort to give ourselves that kind of validation, we give others validation sometimes. And not saying that giving others validation is a bad thing at all, but sometimes the care we express to others is kind of taken from ourselves when we fail to give it to ourselves. It's like two stable structures causing each other collapse. The more we're able to identify with ourselves, identify with how we feel. Feeling is so important. I think we should feel more than we think. Not in the sense of like feel your emotions, be more emotionally volatile, react from your emotions. What I'm saying is like if you hope to achieve something, you're hoping to get something. You know, how are you gonna feel when you get that? How are you gonna feel when it does get? How are you gonna feel before it? I think that, you know, in all artistic pursuits and all stuff like that, I've been trying to figure out, trying to put my finger on it, because I'm like, there are so many artists out here putting out their music. Like, what makes it special? Like, what makes that drive different? And what I think it is positing enough love within your own work that others are forced to love it in a way. It's like filling it up so much, like people have to look at it in the same way, like, or connotating it with your perspective before other people are able to do that. Sometimes I feel like people allow others to connotate the work before they even get to that. We lose a lot of day in expectation of the night. We lose a lot of potential we ought not to try. I feel like people have so much potential, man. So much. But we fail to use it for ourselves. And we fail to posit enough faith and instantiate enough belief within ourselves to actually move forward in a way that's going to benefit us. It's actually like it's actually baffling sometimes. I guess I can speak about my own experience in this, because I've been at this YouTube or just content creation or really just philosophy stuff for about 3 years now. I started posting like 2 years ago, and you know, the biggest shift that I saw between, you know, my work then and my work now is how I feel about it. How I feel about it before I even press some upload, you know. How I feel about it before any views come, before anything like that. And it's always me positing positivity within it before. You know, what I'm editing, I'm like, oh yeah, I just love what this is able to do. I love the message it potentially can bring to somebody. And in doing that, like, no matter what the outcome is, I feel like impact is made. Even if it's just for myself. Like, even if I'm just watching it, because I learned a lot just from experiencing my stuff. I learned a lot from, you know, seeing the comments on the videos, seeing what other people are going through, seeing their perspective, seeing their take on it. I feel like we have a lot more to learn from the world around us about ourselves. Like, I feel like everything around us teaches us about ourselves. Who we are is nothing but the reaction to our external circumstance. And the more we're able to realize that, the more we're able to embrace that, the closer we get to figuring out who we are. But like I said, it's not so much like an end goal for me. It's not, I don't think it should be an end goal oriented thing. Finding yourself, I feel like is akin to finding comfort in who you are regardless. You know, trusting your morals, your spirit and whatnot. Like, of course, you know, you're doing morally ambiguous things. Come on, like, that's stuff you work on. You know, I definitely still have stuff I need to work on. I'm only human. But I know I'm gonna keep trying. I know I'm gonna keep trying to get better every day. Find new ways to appreciate life every day. I've been feeling like I'm getting happier every day. Literally. Since I changed my perspective on life to more so appreciation than observation, things just get a lot better. Like, you listen to music, man, I like this song. How often do you listen to your own music and be like, dang, like, I'm glad I can enjoy this. Like, I'm glad this music was made. Sort of not necessarily deconstructing what it is, but realizing the impact certain things have on you. Realizing the appreciation you have the potential to give. You know, like, and in appreciating yourself, you know, that just goes hand in hand with appreciating others. Like, I have friends who cause I just hit 1K. I'm more than happy, more than grateful for all of you who are tuned in and watching. It's monumental to me. I appreciate it. Much love. So much love for y'all. So much love for all the people who stuck with me in my corner since I've been making videos. Especially, I give me a shout out. Give me a shout out. Actually, I can give out 2, 3, 4. I can give out 100 if I want to. But I have a friend back home who he has the same perspectives on life pretty much as me. And, you know, our relationship, we don't see each other that often. We don't talk that often. But it's straight love. He'll post some motivational say, I like his story. I'll comment, we'll have a conversation. And we appreciate the same stuff. We appreciate our childhood, our youth. We appreciate looking back on what was, but also appreciating what we have to build now. It's about that constant progression forward that allows us to love the past, but still embrace the present and prepare for a better future. Past is in our head, the future's in our hands, and the present's what we work with. But in saying that, like, appreciating others. Let's get back to the point. Just from being able to appreciate yourself, I feel like that kicks some of the envy out the door. And when you don't envy, you just open your eyes to, you know, all the beauty and everything else. All the beauty and everything else. I think I realized a shift in that kind of mindset for me when you know, I've been on YouTube for a little bit, but when I would see like creators just start a channel and then they just blow up on the spot, I'm like, dang, like, I don't even want to get in my support. I'm keeping it stacked. At first I was like, I don't even want to give them my support. I don't, you know, like there's an envy aspect to it. But now, like, once I shifted that, once I was like, well, let me see what they got. Let me see what people are giving into it. And I'm like, this is actually great. I'll subscribe. Yeah, I'll be a part of that. It's about putting out what you wish to receive. What you put in is what you get out. It's about positing enough into the world, into yourself, that you get it back. And I'm not saying you'll get it back in the same way maybe you desire, but you'll get it back in ways you may not know. Maybe you'll get a genuine friendship. Maybe that friend that you haven't talked to in a while is going to hit you up. You'll have a conversation. Maybe you'll see like something beautiful on the street. Maybe you'll have a little side conversation with some random person and realize something you think you should have had realized a long time ago. You know, that's when I feel like there's certain stuff that happens in this world that is meant for you, that you're meant to hear, that you're meant to see. And I feel like we lose a lot of that in our inability to see life within ourselves, to appreciate what we have going on. So I guess the implication is, you know, love yourself so you can love others. Love yourself, love what you do so much that everything around it is an exemplar of that love. And if you're watching this far into the video, I'm over time. I usually like to aim for 10. Thank you. I can't say thank you enough. I mean, I feel like my channel's turned around in ways I didn't think it was going to be able to for a while. You know, and seeing how much I've impacted certain people, it just brought out like a new love for this right here. Like seeing like some people going through tough times. I've had my tough times. Seeing that, just my experience and some of the words I can provide to some people, give people more motivation, or a better outlook to tackle their issues with, makes me so happy. Makes me so happy. That's what I'm saying. Like, realizing the impact you have on others just by being yourself. It's kind of a crazy concept. Sometimes I'm talking to others. Sometimes, you know, like, you never know how much a conversation is going to impact somebody's day. What's the point in like overzealous negativity? I'm not saying jokey negativity. I'm a hater to my friends all the time, but they know it's love. They know they put something out. I'm not saying nothing bad about it. It's beautiful. I love it. I might hate their day to day. They say something goofy, I might say something goofier in joke. But as long as your intention is love, it's that positivity. That's what's important. But thank you all again. I don't know what I'm at right now. I don't know what my sub count is. I don't know how my last video did. I decided not to check. I decided to just keep it up in the air because why not? It's kind of more fun that way. Um, Stay tuned. I'm going live maybe today or tomorrow. I don't know. Today, as in like when I upload this video. But yeah, y'all be easy. Uh, if you're new to the channel, sub. If you're old, thank you for staying.